Ah, there's nothing like a pleasant bike ride through the city. Sure, the drivers are scary, but thanks to this bike lane, you're totally protected from cars. Pickup truck drivers, on the other hand, will still kill you. Thankfully, the only place this pickup truck is going in the future is a tow yard, and with any luck, the pickup truck driver will be riding a bus from here on out. That's just the first of many clips capturing Seattle drivers destroying infrastructure. Watch the top of your screen for a driver traveling far too fast. She fails to negotiate the turn and gets demolished by a pole. Now, multiple people did stop to help, which happens in pretty much all of the crashes I see. I just usually don't include it in the video for pacing reasons. We've got some pretty good sign placement here as well. And according to police, the 19-year-old driver suffered a severe foot injury but survived, a testament to the safety of modern cars. Just over a month later, the same spot, but this time it looks like distraction might be more to blame than speed, as that pickup truck driver drifts onto the sidewalk before smashing into the pole. No serious injuries this time, and that utility pole remains undefeated, although I'm sure we'll see more challengers over the coming months. We'll transition now to something slightly lighter. Watch this white car at the bottom of your screen. The driver is, well, I don't know what they're doing, but it doesn't seem to involve their brain or their eyes, because they ended up high-centered on some shrubbery. An embarrassing and shameful predicament. I guess it's possible the driver had a medical issue, but he hopped out of the car shortly afterward and seemed fine, so I'm guessing the only medical issue was a terminal case of head-up-the-ass-itis. Hopefully an expensive ticket will help him keep his eyes on the road next time. Now watch this car exiting the parking lot of the Metropolitan Market. Amazingly, this driver manages to make it almost a half block before she hits a parked car and flips over onto her side. Once again, we have somebody immediately running to make sure that that driver is okay. No injuries that I'm aware of, but that car has seen better days. Okay, keep an eye on this SUV turning left. The SUV driver is going to turn in front of an oncoming vehicle, and instead of braking, the driver of the other vehicle swerves wildly and ends up inside a building. Not the ideal outcome, and probably not the plan I would have gone with, but when you're cruising through life with half a brain and your nose stuck in your phone, you gotta make do. And we can see a hole in the wall with the headlight of the car shining through. And here we have a clearer look at the damage to the building with the scene lit up by the Seattle Fire Department. Now, all of the drivers that we just saw were terrible, but they weren't necessarily willfully malicious. The next few drivers, however, deserve to go to jail. Watch the center of your screen here. That is a driver blowing a red light at freeway speeds. Really no different than blindly firing a gun into a neighborhood. Now here's that same driver coming towards us on a different camera. As you can see, they haven't slowed down at all, which was a bad move on their part. Now tragically, this driver survived the crash. Not only did they survive, but they were able to flee the scene on foot, which probably means that the car was stolen as well. Now here's another driver that should be removed from society. After running this red light at 5th and Westlake, they tried to do the same thing at 5th and Pine. Unfortunately, this time, they smashed right into a bus. The impact sent the bus off the road and onto a sidewalk. Thankfully, no pedestrians were injured, unlike a similar crash 2 years ago that killed a 28-year-old woman who was waiting to cross the street. In this crash, there were also no injuries to the passengers, although the bus driver was taken to a hospital to be evaluated. The driver of the car, which was allegedly stolen, fled the scene along with one of his passengers. His other passenger, due to a pants malfunction, was arrested at the scene. Note to self, if you're going to do crimes, wear a belt. Alright, one more criminally bad driver before we move on to more run-of-the-mill negligent drivers. At the top of your screen, you can see a driver go left of center and swerve around traffic as they run a red light. We're going to zoom back out here. They continue on, heading right towards a pedestrian in a crosswalk who has no idea of the danger that they're in. They miss that pedestrian by a few feet, but smash into an innocent driver, flipping their car over. Engine 31 was checking hydrants nearby and actually witnessed the crash.
Dispatch from Engine 31. Engine 31, go ahead.
I need a rescue education response at 1 Avenue Northeast and Northeast North Gateway.
It's infuriating that we need to share the road with drivers like this, who have zero regard for other people, whether that's other drivers or people on foot. The driver that caused this crash will probably get a slap on the wrist, if that, and they still haven't found the driver who hit the bus in the previous clip. I don't know what the answer is, but we need to figure something out because it's just getting worse out there. And now, a moment of zen. Take a breath. Autumn is here. The leaves are changing colors, becoming glorious, becoming something new. Ignore the guy doing the fentanyl fold. The leaves are changing into something beautiful, right before they loosen their grip, fall from the only home they've ever known, and let the wind take them to see the world. This has been your moment of zen. And now back to Aurora Avenue, where the car emerging from the bottom of your screen appears to be driving without headlights. Meanwhile, the driver traveling away from us in the left lane seems to have some trouble maintaining their lane. I don't know if they're distracted or under the influence, but either way, they don't see the vehicle without headlights until it's too late. I feel like that could have been prevented by either driver in multiple ways, but it wasn't. Still on Aurora, just north of the bridge this time, the driver of a red vehicle is going to try to make a right turn from the far left lane. Innocent driver in the black SUV was very lucky he wasn't shunted off the overpass. Now, turning from the wrong lane is never a good idea, as the driver of this white car is about to learn. This driver is going to attempt a U-turn from the right lane, but they pull into the path of another driver who appears to be going way too fast. And now, instead of saving time, they're going to be spending hours on the scene, dealing with insurance, and potentially in the hospital. Now, this is a weird block as the bus lane ends halfway through. The Prius driver is going to move over once the bus lane ends, but the driver of a white pickup truck is going to try to turn from the center lane. They hit the Prius and send the Prius right into a scooter rider. This is why I'm so hard on drivers. A careless, negligent mistake can easily have life-changing consequences for people who are just going about their day. Thankfully, in this case, there were no serious injuries to the scooter rider, but I have dozens and dozens of clips of people being injured or killed by Seattle drivers. Here's one more lane change failure. Watch the black SUV next to the semi-truck. The driver already seems to be having some trouble maintaining their lane, and as they round the corner, they pull right into the path of the truck and cause a collision. The heroes from WashDOT showed up on scene to help with traffic control. And here we see one of the harbingers of doom, which may have contributed to the crash with its malevolent presence. The main contributor, of course, was the SUV driver somehow failing to see a semi-truck. Do I have more videos of kids failing to see something right in front of them? Of course I do. Here we have heavy traffic and a distracted driver that causes a 4-car collision. Now, the 3 victim drivers managed to pull into the parking lot, but the dude that caused the crash abandoned his car in the middle of the intersection, similar to how his parents wished that they'd abandoned him when they had the chance. Still on Rainier Avenue, we have another 4-car collision caused by a driver looking at something other than the road. Put away the phone, dude. Nobody even likes you that much. If it takes you longer to text your so-called friends back, they'll probably be relieved. The driver of this car somehow didn't notice a bright yellow car stopped in front of them until it was too late. Looks like the yellow car might also have been stopped at a green light, so everyone is dumb here. Now, this one might be partially an infrastructure issue, as there's a second traffic light that's apparently hard for drivers to see. Still, this driver should have seen stopped traffic, but that very late braking tells me they had other things in mind, like maybe trying to figure out who their dad was. Infrastructure potentially partially to blame for this one too, as several viewers have shared that it's hard to see the traffic light when coming down the hill. Still, if you can't see a traffic light, that's a good reason to slow down, instead of blasting through the intersection and causing a 3-car crash, which is what this clueless driver did. At least they missed the pole this time. Now, the driver of this black car pauses at a red light before running it. They get impaled by an Impala coming from the Coast Guard station. Maybe they'll tie the at-fault driver to a buoy and finally give his life a purpose. Have you ever seen the monorail at night? It's creepy. I don't like it at all. I also don't like the driver of this pickup truck driving away from us, who blows a red light and hits another pickup truck. Probably the first time that driver has smashed in someone else's bed, but that's not the way that you're supposed to do it. Okay, it wouldn't be an STC video without some cut-through crashes and a bus lane bandit. Here a driver is going to try to turn left through stopped traffic, while another driver gives in to turn lane temptation and tries to pass a line of stopped cars in the center lane. It ends poorly for both of them. Now legally you can travel 300 feet in the turn lane, but that doesn't mean it's a good idea. The driver of this white pickup truck is also going to try to make that turn through stopped traffic. It doesn't go well for them either, as they smash into another vehicle and send a tire flying down the road. Our bus lane bandit enters from the right side of the screen. Not only are they passing traffic in the bus lane, they're going to go straight when other traffic is turning right. They sideswipe a pickup truck and then flee the scene. Just another piece of garbage floating around Seattle's roads, putting the rest of us at risk. Okay, I do want to end this video with a feel-good clip. Watch this car heading away from us. Like many other drivers, the driver of this car is going to run a red light, but they don't crash, and even better, there is a karma cop waiting for them. It's very encouraging to see the Seattle police enforcing traffic laws again, and I hope that it becomes more and more common as time goes on. Okay, before we end today, I want to give a huge shout out to my Super STC supporters. Mark Siddell and Bluto is watching. If I got those names wrong, I apologize. You can correct me in the comments. But thank you so much for your support, and thank you to all of my channel members. I wasn't sure anyone was going to join at all, so when 3 people signed up the first day, I literally ran down the hall to tell my wife. I was so excited. If you want to support the channel too, you can click the join button from the video watch page or from my main channel profile. If you're not able to support the channel financially, that's totally okay. I really appreciate all of the views and comments. It really does mean the world to me. Okay, until next time, slow down, phone down, eyes up, and thanks for watching.